At the top of BP, jobs may be on the line. The Financial Times reported this weekend that Chairman Carl SVANBERG and CEO Tony Hayward may be replaced after the Macondo well in the Gulf of Mexico is capped. Well, that's what Colin McLean says should happen. Colin is the CEO of SVM Asset Management, where he oversees almost $1 billion. He has been critical of BP, and he sold his remaining shares in the company last month. Colin is with us now from Edinburgh. Colin, do you buy the report in the FT? Do you think it is literally just a matter of weeks, possibly, before Carl-Henrik Svanberg is out as chairman of BP and Tony Hayward may also be on the skids as well as CEO?
Well, I think they could, over this summer, get containment and be successful with the intercept. That might even happen late this month. That would certainly give a juncture for a change. But I don't think they can change both at the same time. It's too much. So I think they're going to focus perhaps on changing the chairman first of all, and then look to change the chief executive.
Colin, let's talk about potential candidates. You're no longer a shareholder of BP, but you've considered getting back into the stock at some point. What would you need to see at the top of the company? What kind of person would need to be chairman? What kind of person would need to be CEO for you to be reassured enough to buy back into this stock?
Well, I think there are two different issues for those two appointments. For the chairman, I think making an internal appointment and doing that in the near future would be a good thing. They have a number of other former CEOs of major businesses, of resource businesses like BHP, on the board. And that sort of appointment, I think, would go down well. A new chairman could then oversee the process of recruiting a new chief executive. But I think what I and others would want to see is a change to BP's culture, one that now endorses safety. And I think they need to demonstrate that they're looking externally for that, since the culture might be quite ingrained in the company. So I think this has to be a longer process for finding a CEO.
Colin, is that to say that Bob Dudley, the man managing the cleanup effort in the Gulf right now, and also the executive at BP who oversees the Americas and Asia, and Ian Khan, who oversees refining and marketing, are not suitable candidates to replace Tony Hayward? As you probably know, they were runners-up in the contest to succeed Lord Brown, which Tony Hayward ended up winning.
I think Bob Dudley is clearly handling the clean-up well and handling the media and Washington well. Ian Khan, too, I think is highly regarded. However, I think the problem is that all of those, as contemporaries, too, of the existing CEO, I think are seen as being very much under the tutelage and patronage of the previous chief executive, Lord Brown. And I think the company needs to show that it can make a break with that. So I suspect to some extent the other potential candidates within the company might be a little bit tainted, and the company needs to look beyond that, I think.
Colin, let's talk about some of the other issues that will affect BP and will affect its appeal to you as a potential shareholder again. Asset sales. My colleague John Ehrlichman this morning was talking about the potential for BP to sell assets in Argentina, possibly Colombia and Venezuela as well, maybe even Vietnam. If BP goes that route, does it make the stock any more or less attractive to you with the crisis as yet unresolved in the Gulf?
Well, I think an issuing of stock would make it less attractive. It would have given a signal that the company believed this was a good valuation. So I think now that the company seems to have denied that, I think that is reassuring. And it may be that when they come up to the first half results on July 27, that we get with that perhaps some bond issue or some other financing. So I think the immediate cash flow pressures in the company with that and with the dividend held and these planned $10 billion of asset disposals, I think that does take some of the financial pressure off the company. There's also a short-term credit line that's helping it too. So that's fine, but the thing that matters most, I think, is that they have denied that they will issue stock now at this level.
All right, Colin, a pleasure to speak with you once again. That's Colin McLean of SVM Asset Management. He sold his remaining BP shares last month. He's been highly critical of the company, sitting back and trying to figure out when to step back in again.